Last Sunday, we celebrated Father's Day here in Australia, and I sang a few songs that were specially dedicated to my dad and my uncles. And then, of course, a little late in the day, Nick gave me a choice of song dedicated to his father. Of course, Father's Day was long past, and we had a wonderful day together. But I'm so glad Nick has chosen this song nevertheless. You see, Nick's father was born in Italy, and at a very young age, his parents decided that the best life for him would be overseas. And so, much against his will, he set sail across the oceans and finally arrived in Fremantle in Perth, or Western Australia. And from there, of course, he made a life for himself in this country, and much of that time was spent farming. He seemed to have green fingers. Areas that people thought could not be cultivated turned into rich fields of harvest when my father-in-law put his hands to it. He loved being in God's creation. He loved being surrounded by nature. And so it was not surprising that my father-in-law, Nick's father, loved this beautiful hymn entitled, "This is My Father's World." That's an appropriate song as well for Father's Day, not only because Nick's father loved it, but it is true that God is the father of all of us. Now, this song was written by the Reverend Babcock, and he lived in Newport, or rather Lockport, which was part of New York. And he often took walks along the Niagara Escarpment. He enjoyed looking over the panoramic vistas of upstate New York scenery and onto Lake Ontario. He would tell his wife that he was going out to see his father's world. And I guess that's how he was inspired to write this beautiful hymn. Unfortunately, he died at the very young age of 42, and it was only after his death that his wife, Catherine, published his writings in a book entitled Thoughts for Everyday Living, and that contained the poem My Father's World. The original poem, of course, contained 16 stanzas. We won't be singing all 16. Each stanza had 4 lines, and the poem was set to music in 1915 by Franklin L. Sheppard, a close friend of the Reverend Babcock. He gave the tune the name Terra Beata, which means blessed earth in Latin. And so I invite you to sing this beautiful hymn about God's creation in memory of my father-in-law, Nick's dad, and of course in praise of our Heavenly Father.
The music of the spheres. This is my Father's world. I rest me in the thought of rocks and trees, of skies and seas. His hand the wonders wrought. This is
I hope we remember that every time we walk in the midst of nature, that we are enjoying a wonderful gift to us, God's creation. God bless and take care.